Let's have a quick conversation about Shopify payments versus Stripe versus PayPal. So we really want to compare and contrast Shopify payment gateways. So here's a compare. I want to do two comparisons, two sets of comparisons. So here is a comparison one. So I want to first compare and contrast Shopify payments to PayPal. Okay, and when we think about Shopify payments, basically think about Shopify payments as Shopify's default payment gateways that allow users such as you and me to activate it in the Shopify admin quickly. It is a more straightforward, more convenient, affordable, and secure payment model. And the cool thing is that merchants don't have to install any third-party payment services, and customers can easily make purchases via Shop Pay, credit cards, debit cards, gift cards, Apple Pay, or Amazon Pay. So in terms of flexibility, I want to paint a picture of flexibility in terms of payment gateways. Okay, and as a Shopify store owner, you can view and manage data such as orders, payments, and payouts in the Shopify admin dashboard. So everything happens through the dashboard. So what are the what are the requirements here? So there are three requirements when it comes to using Shopify payments. So if you, as a merchant, if you want to be eligible for Shopify payment requirements, then you need to actually, like if you're not eligible, you need to add a third-party payment provider. But if you are eligible, everything happens automatically. So the location is number one. So location. So there are a few countries that are supported this year when it comes to Shopify payments. So they go from Australia all the way to the US. And if your Shopify store's location is not among we're going to put this on the screen, the countries that are actually that support right now Shopify payments. And so that's kind of cool. And Shopify also integrates with over 100 other payment providers worldwide. So don't worry, Shopify has got you covered in case you don't qualify. And if you also own a retail store, then you need to activate Shopify payments in the POS app as well. And once you have activated it, you can accept credit card payments in person. So that's kind of cool. So location is number one. Business types and products. There are some business types and products that qualify. And the third thing is you have security. So security is actually very important in terms of qualifying for Shopify payments. And in terms of pros and cons, the Shopify payments is very easy to set up and use. It is secure, and it really also accepts all primary payment methods. So that's really fantastic. It's user-friendly. It provides quick processing time. You have 24/7 customer support, no transaction fees. In terms of, let's say, a drawback, it has limited availability. It has high chargeback rates, so this is something to think about. And PayPal worked pretty well on Shopify, pretty straightforward. There's nothing really complicated when it comes to setting up the process. And what we love about PayPal here is that it allows you to really have a clear idea about what works and what doesn't work. So when we talk about PayPal versus Shopify payments, it's important to understand that the differences are usually around things like pricing and fees, customer experience, merchant experience, currency and country support, customer service, and processing time, as well as refund processing time. So when we speak about pricing and fees, when you have Shopify payments, you have the pricing 2.4% to 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. That's for Shopify payments. For PayPal, for domestic payments, you have 1.90% to 3.49%. Plus, there is a fixed fee per transaction. For international payments, you have the same domestic fee plus 1.5% of the transaction plus a fixed fee. What about customer experience? Well, customer can complete the checkout on one page. That's really good on both platforms. In terms of merchant experience, same thing. Now, in terms of currency and country support, PayPal does support more countries than Shopify. Customer service 24/7, not a problem. In terms of processing time, actually, Shopify takes it's quicker. Shopify takes 24 hours to 3 business days to actually process, whereas PayPal takes about 5 to 7 business days. So you can see the delta there, okay? And in terms of refund processing times, on the Shopify, it takes about 5 to 10 business days. And on PayPal, it really depends on whether or not you have a PayPal account balance or you have bank account. So things are really different depending on the flexibility that you want to have. And so which payment method is best for you depends on what you're looking for. It depends on, you have to think about what really fits your customers. Okay, so make a customer first decision. And you also got to think about the transaction fee, right? The transaction rates directly affect your product's pricing and profit margins. So you can get more practical insights by calculating the actual rate per transaction, understanding actually its impact on the product price, and estimating how much you'll have to pay the provider monthly. So think about that. So those are things for you to really have a clear idea of what works and what doesn't work for your specific situation. So ultimately, the goal of choosing the right payment method for your business is to actually meet your financial requirements while providing a seamless and cost-effective solution in the first place. Next, when we think about security, you want to create a sense of security and reliability for your customers by ensuring that their personal and financial information is safe with you, right? It's actually crucial for businesses of all sizes to have a reliable payment processor. So that's an important element. And when we speak about processor, this processor should provide robust fraud protection and other security features to guarantee the safety of every transaction. So when you think about Shopify payments and PayPal, you have right there and there two of the most secure payment gateways. So that's kind of cool. You also have convenience and ease of payment. So that's something you have to pay attention to. In addition to a customer support quality, right? That's an important element to think about. Now let's talk about Shopify payments. Like how do you actually set up Shopify payments? Well, before you think about anything, things are pretty straightforward on Shopify for you to actually set up your Shopify payments. Okay, you just need from the Shopify admin, go to settings, select payments, activate your Shopify payments. So very straightforward. Fill in the required fields with details about your store and your banking information, and click save. Very straightforward. What about setting up PayPal for your Shopify store? Basically, what happens here is that normally Shopify will create a PayPal Express checkout account for you using the sign up email address. If you have already registered the PayPal account with another email address, then you need to change it to match the one that you use to log into Shopify. If you're not sure about your registered PayPal email address, go to settings, select store details. In the contact information section, you want to find a store email. Then what you want to do is that from your Shopify admin dashboard, select settings, next payment. In the additional payment methods, select PayPal, manage, click the activate PayPal Express checkout twice to confirm. Select activate PayPal Express checkout. Click next, log in. So pretty straightforward. Don't forget to give permission on the PayPal permission page, and you want to go back to Shopify. So that's kind of important when it comes to setting up your Shopify account like the right way. Now, so I finished with you in terms of the first comparison, right? So let's talk about the second comparison to Stripe versus PayPal. So which payment processor is actually really best for you? So when you think about the PayPal, I think I've said this before, the thing is that PayPal has a seriously complicated fee schedule that adds up quickly. And even basics like a virtual terminal or a recurring payment tool require a subscription plan plus an added fee. Think about it. Also, many of the premium features PayPal charges are for either free with, like they are actually either free with Stripe or come at a flat rate per transaction. And if your customer demographic skews a little less tech forward, customers may be more willing to input financial information via a platform they are already familiar with, which is usually PayPal. Keep in mind though that basically you have to really see what works for you in terms of choosing between PayPal and Stripe. You got to look at the ease of use, cost and fees, recurring payments, pay later options, international payments, customizability, currency transfer types supported, trustworthiness and brand familiarity, and AI. When we think about ease of use, PayPal is definitely easier to use. In terms of cost and fees, Stripe is a lot cheaper. Recurring payments, Stripe is actually way better. In terms of pay later options, PayPal is really fantastic there. For international payments, Stripe actually is a great contender here, better than PayPal, by the way. In terms of customizability, Stripe is already there as well. For currencies and transfer types supported, both are pretty good. Okay, and so in terms of trustworthiness, PayPal is way more like in terms of brand familiarity. PayPal is more familiar in the eyes and minds of customers than more familiar than Stripe. In terms of AI, Stripe is a little better. So what's not different when you actually compare and contrast those two players? What's not different? Well, credit cards accepted. So both Stripe and PayPal can accept all major credit cards. You have a variety of transaction types. So whichever app you choose, you'll be able to check out customers online in person or via manual credit card input, though both slightly upcharged for manually entered transactions. In terms of chargebacks, both platforms' chargeback fees are pretty similar. Security, you'll get similar security quality from either processor, including safeguards like data encryption, 2FA, so two-factor authentication, fraud detection, etc. through the price, though the prices will vary. And in terms of report building, PayPal might be a tiny bit more capable of the two, but either will allow you to build simple reports from past transactions. So something to really think about. So when you analyze PayPal versus Stripe, think about the fact that PayPal is very easy to use, very easy to set up, but Stripe actually allows on-site checkouts that you can customize to your brand. So this is a biggie, okay? When you think about it, and so one thing I want to say here is that Stripe is I first want to talk about PayPal. The thing is that it's very easy for the buyer, and the brand name is enough for people to trust it when it comes to PayPal. But it takes you off the page you were purchasing from. That's the biggie that we don't like with PayPal a lot. But when you think about Stripe is actually designed to be integrated directly with your shop so that the customer remains on your website throughout the entire checkout process. It also allows you to customize the checkout gateway to match your shop's brand and aesthetic. PayPal users have to pay up for PayFlow Pro to fully customize their checkout pages. Otherwise, branding options are limited to just adding a logo, okay? And this is an important element to think about. So one thing for sure, you can hire a freelance programmer, for example, on Fiverr or Upwork or freelancer.com to set up a checkout gateway for as little as $20, okay? So if you couldn't code your way out of a paper bag but you still want the nicer checkout experience, paying someone else to do it is going to help you a lot. So that's kind of cool. Now, nearly every type of transaction is cheaper with Stripe, and you won't have to worry about hidden fees. That's an important element to think about. I mean, Stripe is way cheaper. And one thing for sure, Stripe actually can help you out whether you're speaking about having integrated fees or native fees, okay? But Stripe fees are way cheaper than most PayPal fees for sure, okay? And they're also integrated. So, that said, PayPal does have 3 pricing advantages. First, it has a fee-free pay later service. Number 2, Stripe doesn't offer a native pay later option, but integrates with third-party platforms like Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna instead, each of which charges its own fee of around 6% plus 30 cents per installment. Second, PayPal charges only its standard transaction fees for invoicing. And invoicing with Stripe, however, costs an additional 0.4% per transaction for a starter, and 0.5% actually for plus plans. Okay, that's something to think about. Third, PayPal's point of sale setup can be cheaper, and PayPal POS transaction fees are only 2.29% plus 9 cents. Okay, something to really think about. 9 cents, and so overall, really fantastic. Now, PayPal's add-on fees are confusing and require users to pay extra for features that are included with Stripe, okay, and they're included natively with Stripe. So this could be a big let's say a biggie when it comes to looking at the full set of features, especially if you are thinking about going very natively, okay. And one thing for sure, PayPal actually allows you to get things done a lot faster, but Stripe is cheaper, especially in the long run. So Stripe collects its fees primarily on a per transaction basis, and those features that are considered extras like tax configuration, audit tools, and data pipelines cost a small additional per transaction fee, usually a few cents or a few tenths of a percentage point. And for high volume sellers that need a more dynamic pricing structure, Stripe does offer custom fee packages, you might need to contact Stripe for more information, and they'll let you know what are the pros and cons, and that's really something to think about. One thing for sure, PayPal has more brand recognition, right? But maybe less impactful as its competition grows. I mean, payment processors should be like the pipes in your house, completely unnoticed as they move things along, right? And so for businesses whose customers may be a little more sensitive to name recognition when it comes to providing online payment information, PayPal has the advantage of being deeply entrenched as a trusted payment processor, and it's a big advantage. Think about it, because PayPal still dominates the payment processing landscape with 45% of the global market share. Stripe is actually second with a mere 18%. So if there is a chance, your customers will be, let's say, reluctant to finalize payment if they don't recognize the company handling your checkouts. There's always a chance they will take their business elsewhere. So something that really want to think about. But this is becoming less common these days. Most of us have open accounts with a slew of companies, and one more isn't likely to scare many of us when it comes to credibility. And if people do think Stripe seems a little sus, a quick Google search will show it's becoming very trusted in online marketplaces. And one thing for sure, both apps integrate with Zapier, okay? Whichever solution you choose, both Stripe and PayPal integrate with Zapier to help you connect your checkout page to thousands of other apps. That way you can automate your post-purchase marketing, add new sales to a spreadsheet, or anything in between. So that's kind of cool. And neither is doing a lot with AI, but Stripe has slightly more actionable AI features. So when we think about Stripe or PayPal, which really makes sense for you? Well, it really depends. You get essentially the same thing from each of these payment processors, but this doesn't mean that they are totally equal. So if you want to leverage the more familiar brand with more built-in trustworthiness and more out-of-the-box simplicity, and don't mind higher fees and more complicated pricing, PayPal is actually the winner. If you want to keep fees low at scale, are comfortable with light coding or outsourcing some implementation, and don't mind less ingrained brand recognition for your payment pathway, Stripe actually is the one that you want to go for this year, and this is an important element to think about. So here's a selection here. So we have Shopify payments versus Stripe versus PayPal. Which one should you go for? Which payment processor should you actually choose this year? Well, you want to pay attention to a few things, okay? Basically, when we speak about payment processing, I want you to think about a series of steps that occur after a customer makes a transaction with a credit card or a debit card or other form of electronic payment with a point of sale system online or via mobile device. So what happens here is that the process is necessary to transfer funds from a customer account to a business bank account, usually for the purchase of goods or services. So when we talk about payment processing, you have transaction initiation, transaction authorization, transaction verification, transaction settlements, transaction reporting, and you also have a fraud monitoring and chargeback. So whether you should go with Shopify payments or Stripe or PayPal, it really depends on what you're looking for. Okay, and so basically you want to have, of course, a proper merchant account setup, integration with payment systems, that's for sure. Transaction processing is really critical also, especially when it comes to helping you scale overseas. The settlement of funds, you want to have the funds settled faster. What about security and compliance? And another important element to think about. You also got to think about reporting and analytics. That's really critical, especially when it comes to the granularity here. Dispute management is another important area to pay attention to, especially in the long run, and also customer support. Okay, when you think about those three, by the way, Stripe is the one that offers the best customer support in our view. They offer 24/7 support via email, chat, and phone. So that's kind of cool. In terms of choosing the payment processor, ask yourself, which payment methods does the processor support? What are the fees and pricing structure? What level of customer support does the processor provide? Is the processor PCI compliant? And how does it ensure transaction security? How easy it really is to integrate with your existing systems? And also another important element is to look at the settlement speed. Okay, think about the processor's reputation and reliability. And can the processor actually support your business as it scales. So here is our choice here: Shopify payments versus Stripe versus PayPal. Which one should you go for? Well, our answer is actually unclear. I mean, unclear. We don't have a definite answer. Why? Because if you have a Shopify store and you are in one of the countries that support Shopify payments, go with Shopify payments. It's really easier, it's really faster, and it's really cheaper. If you are, let's say, a broader business, your customers are, let's say, varied, go with PayPal. This is great for brand recognition. But if you don't mind the brand recognition, or your customers don't mind, and you want to have a cheaper payment processor, you want to go with Stripe. That's for sure. So here's the bottom line. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about Shopify payments versus Stripe versus the PayPal, and I give you comparison one, comparison two. I give you the selection, and now our choice. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.